They play that gas.
Yeah. I move like this, I'll never be regular. I got the motion, the routes, and the schedule. What I've been through, you can never be ready for. Talking about juice, I'm just Pac with the metaphor. Look in the mirror, I'm looking at me. The price of life cheap, I ain't paying a fee. Nigga, no digital, paying for reach. Long as I'm free, I'll be straight as a crease. I move like this, I'll never be regular. I got the motion, the routes, and the schedule. What I've been through, you can never be ready for. Talking about juice, I'm just Pac with the metaphor. Look in the mirror, I'm looking at me. The price of life cheap, I ain't paying a fee. Nigga, no digital, paying for reach. Long as I'm free, I'll be straight as a crease. Been through some shit, so I really don't talk about no regular gossip at all. And the vibe is just effortless, come with some benefits.
Hey, what's up, family? What's up? We are back. We are back in full effect. Another episode of Real Talk TV. Listen, we coming. We coming, man. It's beautiful to be here. I appreciate y'all tuning in for Real Talk TV. Episode 3, mental health. We're going to talk about mental health today. And hope this is a good episode for you. I hope you like it. I hope you learn some things. I hope you are able to consume, the information that is displayed in this talk show today, and you're able to use it, to help you become a better person. Because mental health is a big deal, man. Like, mental health is like taboo in our culture. It's like something that traditionally we don't talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like, black people, like, we don't need to talk to no therapist. We don't need to be telling people our business, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty much how we grew up. But we are starting to realize that mental health is very imperative to being the best human being that you can possibly be. And if you think about it, you can kind of think about it like your body, like going to the gym. You going to the gym, you working out, you benching, you squatting, you doing the work to get your body, stronger. We got to do the same thing for our mind. Our brain is extremely powerful. Our brain really runs, everything that goes on, and we got to make sure it's taken care of. So I hope y'all doing as well as possible, man. It's so much going on in society. Like, that's why mental health is even more important to talk about. Like, we wake up to mass shootings every day. We got the pandemic that we've been dealing with over a year. So it's compounding things. And as a black community, y'all know the trauma that we've been through, just being black in America. It causes a lot of anxiety. And anxiety is kind of the first thing I want to hit on today, because it's a big part of what we're dealing with as a society, as a culture, as a people. And anxiety is just being anxious, just being nervous, not really knowing like what's going on, just anticipating, things not working out. They really classify anxiety as like, it has to be extreme, it has to be excessive. So you have to excessively worry, you have to be excessively nervous the majority of the day, and that's kind of what anxiety is. And it's something that we got to tackle. The thing about anxiety is really finding the source of what's making you anxious. Like, why are you so anxious? Like, what's going on? Like, really finding that source. Like, that's kind of how we start, working against anxiety. It's important because, like I talked about the brain, like, your body's like a machine and your brain is like the engine, like the computer. Your brain is like a supercomputer. So, like, we get enamored with technology, but your brain is like the greatest computer ever. You feel me? So, like, you nervous, you anxious, and your brain start working. Your brain start releasing stuff like hormones, like cortisol. Like, it releases things like you anxious, you nervous, and your brain releases adrenaline. So you wondering, you walking around all day, why I so angry? Why I feel like I just want to box, somebody, I just want to jaw somebody. Like, your body anxious, man. And it's something that we have to be aware of first to understand that, okay, this is going on. How can I combat that? And that's kind of through communication, learning yourself, finding strategies that work for you to kind of help you deal, with your anxiousness. Like, it's like fight or flight. Like, we live in a constant state of fight or flight, and that's not good for your body. Like, it's harmful because you always up, you always stress, and stress is a killer. Like literally, like we talk about, police murder and we talk about, racism, but stress kills too. Like stress, like, you stressed out and that leads to anxiety, and then anxiety leads to stuff like high diabetes. Like no cap. So like really getting a handle on your mental health is very important. Like it's something that we have to do. We have to do it because that's the only way we're going to run at optimal efficiency. That's very important. What else? When we talking about mental health, we talking about trauma. I touched on it a little bit earlier. Like as the Black community, we are in trauma from hundreds of years. Like don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Like trauma travels through genes, like through your genetics. Like there have been studies, of like Holocaust survivors and all that kind of stuff. Like they do their experimentations and all that kind of deal, and they find out that literally trauma from generations ago show up in people 40, 60 years later. So we are dealing with the trauma of being a people kidnapped from our homeland and being transported to a place that treat us the way they treat us, and that trauma is real. Like, and the biggest kind of entity when we talk about trauma is kind of military geared. It's PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and they use it to categorize things that happen in the military with the veterans and the fighters. But new research has come out and shown, like, man, listen, it ain't just military. It ain't just military who's dealing with PTSD. There was a study done by the Journal of Anxiety Disorders, and it showed that 1 out of every 10 Black person suffers from PTSD. 1 out of every 10. That's a high number. You might not think so, but like really just collect yourself and think about 10 people in your family. Think about 10 of your closest friends. Like we all got people, we know and love. Like one of y'all boy got PTSD, whether it's diagnosed or not. And to be honest, that number is probably higher because like I just talked about, in the Black community, mental health is taboo. Like we ain't going nowhere. We ain't talking to nobody about the stuff that's going on. Like we not really signing up for no surveys. So that 1 out of 10 number is probably higher, man. Like it's crazy. They talk about PPD, postpartum depression, something that mothers deal with after they give birth. Like it's all this new research on mental health. It's all this new research on mental health that we really gotta tap into and really focus in on, because at the end of the day, you just wanna be as efficient as possible. Like think about it like a car. You put gas in your car. You got a high-end car. You got a sports car. You put the cheapest gas in there, ain't gonna run good. You know what I'm saying? You can't put unleaded in there. You have to put premium in there. You put unleaded in there, it might run, but it ain't gonna run well. We wanna operate at our highest frequency. That's how we reach greatness. That's how we overcome obstacles. That's how we be the best version of ourselves that we can be. That's how we live our ordained, destined lives, is by running at optimal efficiency. You feel me? LeBron James, Braun, that boy from Akron. Yeah, he can take the Cleveland Cavaliers to the finals with Daniel Gibson and Mo Williams and Anderson Varejao and Zydrunas Ilgauskas and Sasha Pavlovich. Like, he can take them to the finals, But give him Kyrie or AD and watch how he get to the finals and watch how he make it look. You feel me? Like, that's what I talk about when I'm talking about operating at your highest efficiency. And knowledge is power. You gotta be aware of what's going on. You gotta understand, the fight that we're fighting. So we've talked about anxiety, we've talked about trauma, and we're gonna just tie all of this into social media. Social media is a big player when it comes to the game of mental health. Don't you think for 1 second that it's not. And we all struggle with it. I put me at the top of the list. Like, these algorithms, man, like, they play on natural human psychology. They know the game. We don't know the game. Like, likes and retweets and how long things trend and all that stuff, all this comparing. Like, Well, I mean, you gotta follow the pattern, man. Like all these deaths are up. You know, all these things that are going on with mental health. All these numbers are up. Suicide is up. That's a tragedy that I'm dealing with personally, and it's hard to deal with. It's hard to deal with, man. We need this knowledge, and we need to do what we can to be the best version. And I said all that to say, like, social media just plays a big part in our collective mental health. Charlamagne the God speaks on this in his book, Shook One, that y'all see back here. Charlamagne, man, Gullah Geechee native, he's a phenomenal author. If you haven't read Shook One, you need to. You need to. If you haven't read Black Privilege, you need to. I'm not the biggest fan of the caricature Charlamagne the God, but the educator, Charlamagne the God, he is top notch, man. The research says that social media is arguably the #1 cause of anxiety, and I believe that. And and I'm sure the research backs it up, man. Like, we have to be aware of what's going on. We like addicted to these things. Like, that feeling you get when you get a damn notification on your phone ping and you see that like that's playing on our emotions, man. And we gotta be careful, because you start comparing your life to people on social media who all doing the same thing you doing, and you start really feeling some type of way. Like, that's something that we got to be aware about, man. Like, it's crazy, because you have to live your life authentically for you. It's a crazy stat that I just read doing research for this episode. 90% of the decisions that we make for other people. Like, really think about how crazy that is. The food you eat, the clothes you wear, where you live at. You feel me? The decisions you make, most of the time, the studies show that 90% of that we do for other people. We trying to, create a certain image, and we want to be perceived a certain way. Perception is the key to life. Y'all remember that. Perception is the key to everything. And it's crazy. Like, really think about rims on a car. Really think about rims. When you see your rims as a driver, the person who's spending all this money on rims, when you really see your rims. Listen, I love jewelry. I love jewelry. I don't just wear my jewelry in the house. When I got my jewelry on, I can't see my own jewelry. So who am I buying jewelry for? It's crazy, man. We have to be careful. Awareness is the key. We have to be aware of these things. And that's why I hope Real Talk TV is as substantial as I think it is, because knowledge is power. Awareness is key. Once you have awareness of what's going on, then you can move a certain way. Then you can take accountability. Then you can strategize. Then you can execute. You can do all these other steps, but it all starts with awareness. So yeah, I don't take up too much of y'all time. This is Real Talk TV, episode 3, mental health. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you turn on the notifications so you can know when a new episode coming out. Mental health is important. Don't think I'm trying to call people crazy because I'm talking about anxiety, or I'm talking about depression, paranoia. Don't think I'm trying to attack in any kind of form. Like, these are things that we all deal with, and we all need somebody to talk to. We all need somebody to lean on. We all need to express ourselves and our emotions and become in tune and aware of them, so we can all be better people. It ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with that. Real Talk TV. I appreciate y'all. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. And I'm always here for you. Y'all know I got my virtual counseling service. You can always tap in, text me, email me. I want to hear from you. I want to help if possible. Thank you so much. Namaste. Ashe. Yeah.
Hey family, my name is Jackie Wright. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, by way of Jamaica. Currently residing in Columbia, South Carolina, where I'm outside enjoying this amazing weather. I'm so honored to be guest speaker for today's episode. Anxiety is one of my biggest personal battles that I've dealt with for a very long time. After connecting with Dr. Trav, even though I still have a long journey ahead of me, I'm extremely confident that this is a battle that I will win. I will be presenting the final thoughts for today's episode, Mental Health. Final thoughts. Mental health is a topic that's not always easy to address. By shedding light on difficult topics, we hope to help start a conversation that will lead to true healing. If you or someone you know are struggling with these issues, please reach out to someone you love and trust or your local helpline. As a certified counselor in South Carolina, Dr. Travis Lamar is providing virtual counseling services to help his community in any way that he can. Check out his website and contact him to see if he can be of assistance to you. Thank you.